everybody. I'm Alex Margulies, broadcaster for the Fort Myers Miracle, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to the first ever episode of the Miracle Insider Show. All season long, we're going to be taking you behind the scenes and into the clubhouse with exclusive content and interviews you're not going to see anywhere else. We want this show to be completely fan interactive, so go to our Twitter and our Facebook pages and give us some ideas on what the content you'd like to see. But for now, sit back and relax, and here's a preview of today's show. We're going to lead off today's show by sitting down with Twins Director of Minor League Player Development, Jim Rance. Then stop by the Miracle Season Ticket Holder Barbecue, where fans had a chance to meet the players and coaches. And then finally, Gary Sharp goes inside the clubhouse with Jake Maurer to get a preview of this year's team. So without further ado, let's get this first episode of the Miracle Insider Show underway. All right, I'm in front of the Twins minor league side of the Lee County Sports Complex, where over 100 players have a spring training of their own. There's one man that has the giant task of overseeing that entire operation. His name is Jim Rance. Let's go talk to him up in his tower. All right, we've infiltrated the tower, and we're here with Jim Rance. Jim is the Director of Minor League Player Development for the Twins. For those who don't know, Jim, could you just explain exactly what you do?
Well, I'm, as you said, the Director of the Minor Leagues. I help with a number of our staff people evaluate the players, make sure that we assign them to teams that in the system, obviously, that where they'll have some success and be able to compete and hopefully work their way up the ladder. And it's pretty much an evaluation job of 150 players.
That's a lot of guys to keep track of.
Well, I have a lot of help, Alex. I have a lot of help. Spring training right now is the toughest part of this job, trying to separate the players for the 4 clubs that start up here on the 7th of April here, and then we have 2 more come about in June. So when the school gets out, we got 2 rookie clubs. So we got 6 clubs that we stock, and obviously it gets to be a little hectic at this time of the spring.
Now, a lot of people don't know, but last year, I'm guessing may have been one of the most difficult years that you've had as a director. You know, you've been doing this for 25 plus years, but the Miracle alone had over 100 roster transactions. How tough was last year for you?
That was very tough. As you mentioned, it was probably the toughest year. And, we're not making excuses because everybody has injuries and everybody moves along, but it seemed like we had more than our share of injuries last year. If there was anything good about injuries last year, it was that we were able to promote some players up the ladder and get that experience at the lower level. And we also contributed to the major league. For instance, Danny Valencia went up to the major league club, and he helped provide a lot of spark to that big league club and help us win another division. But win-loss at the AAA and AA was really tough on us last year, and that's not our MO.
Well, as you look to break camp here in a couple of days, how would you assess the state of the Twin system right now?
Well, we talked about injuries, and unfortunately we have about 14 players right now that are iffy if they're going to make a club out of spring training. Some are a little more serious than others, but some of these players are good players, are key players to some of the clubs that we need to fill. Once again, we feel we got some depth in the pitching department, but take the injuries out of it. It's been a great camp as far as the weather is concerned. We've had great weather in spring training here, and we got a lot of work done, and we got a good look at all our players because we didn't miss any time.
Now, specifically looking at the Fort Myers Miracle, how would you assess their team this year? How do you like the way they're kind of built for this 2011 season?
Well, I think we're going to have some speed, obviously, with the Miracle. You have 2 number 1 picks over there on that club. Again, here we have some repeat players, which is always good if you can. For the player, I know sometimes players don't like to repeat, but for their best interest, we do send players back to gain some confidence and also to work on their skills, to get better, and that's why we repeat players and we hold some down. We're the youngest probably in any league we go to. We're always the youngest team, but the Miracle has, as I said, a couple number 1 picks and Wimmers, and Aaron Hicks, who is going to be something nice to watch in the outfield. We have those repeaters that I mentioned about Dozier and P.J. Kelly and guys that have been there in the past, but the pitching, the starters, I think we got a solid 5-man rotation, and the bullpen should hold up. So I'm looking for us to score some runs and be very competitive.
Well, I won't take up too much more of your time. Actually, that'll be it for us for today. Thank you so much, Jim, for joining us, and hopefully this year will be a little bit smoother on you than last year was.
Thanks a lot, Alex.
All right, appreciate it. Wow, that was really a thrill to be able to sit down with Jim Rance and really get an idea for where the Twins minor league system is at. Well, here at Hammond Stadium, it was a really busy week leading up to opening night. And it all started last week with our annual season ticket holder party, where fans had a chance to mix and mingle with the players.
I'd actually rather go to a minor league game than a major league game. It's more up close and personal. You do a lot of fun in between the innings. There's all kinds of crazy promotions going on and everything. I've always loved minor league baseball.
It's great to be back out here. It's great to interact with all the fans. They get a chance to see us off the field and put a better face to out of the uniform. So it's a lot of fun.
We enjoy it more than you ever know. I mean, honestly, there's not a lot to do in this town. When Miracle Baseball's on, that's it. That's what's going on. They're just like anybody else. You know, they're a young kid growing up trying to make a name for themselves, and it's good to see.
Chatted with a bunch of the fans. Being here my second year, I know a bunch of them now, so it's good to see a lot of friendly faces.
Well, at least you didn't say best looking. I'll go with best dressed. But if you said best looking, I call you a liar.
Then we would have stepped up to the side, but definitely the best dressed. He knows how to dress to come to games. Michael Vincent, everybody.
Good work.
Can't wait for baseball to start.
That's right.
So, I've got Twins in my blood all the way from, when I was a kid. And, I moved to Fort Myers last year. And when I learned about the Fort Myers Miracle being here, I was the first one. This is one of the first things I did was I got season tickets for the season. I can't wait for Saturday. It's going to be great.
There's still plenty of time to get full or partial season tickets. If you're interested, please call the Miracle offices at 239-768-4210. Man, that season ticket holder party was a lot of fun, and the grub was excellent. We're going to wrap up today's show as we take you inside the clubhouse with Gary Sharp, who catches up with Miracle manager Jake Maurer for a preview of this year's team.
Welcome inside of the clubhouse as we get ready for the start of the 2011 season with second-year manager Jake Maurer. I'm Gary Sharp. And Jake, before we look ahead to 2011, last year was your first year. 57 different players wore a Miracle uniform, but in the end, you won 16 of your last 21, almost got into the playoffs. Any carryover from 2010 to 2011, either yourself or the momentum of the guys coming back?
I hope so, Gary. It was a pretty exciting year last year, and coming down to the last day or second to last day of the season, we look forward to coming 2011, starting earlier than we did last year. Having our staff back will help, and we got a pretty good nucleus coming back. Some guys that got experience, and hopefully we'll pick up where we left off.
What did you learn about this league? And as you mentioned, you got a lot of guys coming back. 15 of the 25 are returnees from last year's team. But what is the key in this league with spring training ballparks and the weather?
Pitching and defense. And you'd probably ask any manager you'll have anywhere, especially down here. Once the weather heats up, the ball tends not to fly. And we got a big ballpark here. I think you'll see a big difference this year. We have a center fielder that can really go get it. And which will move John Conclaves over to right, who did an outstanding job last year too. So we'll be a lot quicker in the outfield. We're a little more athletic in the infield this year. And we have a lot of strike throwers as we did years past. So we're excited about this year's team.
A lot of people will hear about the two big names, the Twins' first-round picks in 2008, outfielder Aaron Hicks. And then last year we saw a little bit of Alex Wimmers out of Ohio State in 2010 after he signed in August, came here and was magnificent, had a 0.57 ERA. Those guys are well known. Who are some other guys that you think will stand out, especially here in the first 6 weeks?
I think you'll see Brian Dozier picking up where he left off. Obviously coming a college shortstop that we had last year. Gave us a big lift when he came. We're looking forward to Danny Rams. He's a younger player, hopefully having a big year here. And, our returnees, Nate Hansen, Nick Romero, guys like that, we're looking to give us some leadership and to carry us forward, and hopefully we'll get off on the right foot.
Good luck. It starts Thursday in Jupiter.
I was looking forward to it.
As the manager, Jake Maurer, I'm Gary Sharp. Back to you, Alex.
Thanks, Gary. That was great stuff. Well, that's going to do it for our first episode of the Miracle Insider Show. We hope you enjoyed it quite as much as we did. Make sure you go and download the Miracle app, which is available on both the iPhone and the Android. You can also tune in to Miracle Baseball with myself and Bryce Zimmerman on miraclebaseball.com. I'm Alex Margulies. Thanks for joining us, everybody. See you next time.